Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Thea 2 The Shattering, where today we are going to do a good job. I know, it's a change of pace for us, it sounds like a risky strategy, but I think we can pull it off. So, we're going to be starting as Worshippers of Merovit again. I think this went really well for us last time, and I think it can go even better this time. We learned a lot of things in that last game. We even learned some stuff from the weird little abortive attempt at the end of the last episode. And we bought an expensive card for that last attempt, but it was magic domain, so we can still use it when playing as Merovit. So this is what I'm thinking we're going to run with. Now, we use the Goblin Child card that we picked, or that we bought earlier. We stick with the human children as well. So that gives us 3 party members who are functionally useless for the first somewhere between like 25 and 40 turns of the game. But we also start with a good proper gatherer. I really think this feels important to me. If we had a dedicated gatherer during that little failed game at the end of the last episode, we would have been able to much more effectively gather food while continuing to move around the map because we'd have enough gathering points to pull things up in only a single turn. We would never have gotten into the really grim situation we got into at the end. And once you build your city, the Gatherer is immediately like supercharged, incredibly effective, gathering building materials really fast. It seems like of all the classes, I think maybe the most important one to start with. And then we get to take the Scoundrel and the Rat, which I think is probably going to give us a little bit of combat ability. The Rat's going to have Strength of the Swarm. The Scoundrel might have Strength of the Swarm again, we can hope. And even bad fighters can handle these early game combats almost alone if Strength of the Swarm is properly used and you have people block for them, of course. So I think this is a setup that's going to be pretty weak at the beginning, but at least able to handle basic combat. And then once the children grow up, we've got like 6 full-fledged characters, so we just have to figure out a way to keep going until that happens. And then 2x advanced equipment, the gathering tools. I only have 3 god points saved up, and looking at all the stuff we can buy, I think I just want to bank them for buying access to new gods. The really cool stuff that we might want to buy is way too expensive, and I don't think that any of these bonuses are really better than starting with like some weapons and armor and a good gathering tool. So I think with that, let's get started here. Who do we want to be our chosen? The Goblin Child. We did the Scoundrel last time, and that was fine. But obviously the fact that the Scoundrel really needs to be on the front line to be effective in combat makes that risky, and we saw how risky that actually is. So I think this time we probably want our chosen to either be somebody who's not going to be vital for combat, or somebody who can fight well from the back line of combat at least. So the children from that card are not just children. They're slightly better, right? Like this one is slightly stronger than a normal child, and this one's a little bit more perceptive. I'm thinking making the Chosen a hunter allows us to still use the Chosen for difficult challenges in case we run into a story thing that needs to be done by the Chosen. Hunters seem to get kind of good at everything, and then also allows us to keep the Chosen in the back line of combat when we need to use them for combat, and thus considerably safer. And our Chosen was male last time, so we'll go female. Yeah, okay. I think Chosen Hunter seems like a powerful thing to me. Hunters, in general, just seem very powerful. Okay, so while we're loading here, I do want to say sorry, and apologize for the weird, shortened last episode. A couple of things were going on there. Number one, I was just getting extremely bodied by the game, and I like to say it in the passive voice like that because that makes it sound like it's not my fault, even though it 100% is. You know, some days you have your brain, like, the chain just won't catch. You just can't, like, get going right. And I was definitely having one of those with Thea yesterday. And then the second thing is, I have a recurring, like, chronic esophageal condition. And sometimes it flares up and it makes it difficult for me to speak comfortably or speak in a way that sounds normal at all. It doesn't happen a lot, but you could probably hear it started happening during yesterday's episode, which was a big part of the reason that I wanted to cut it short. So apologies for that. It doesn't happen a lot. Hopefully it won't happen again while I'm recording this. And if you have gastroesophageal reflux disease, care for it. Take it seriously, because if you don't, you will permanently damage your esophagus. Take it from someone who knows. Okay, let's get out here and try the thing. So we're looking for... Oh, let's look at our equipment before we go anywhere. We have a 3.0 increase to gathering tool. That's a little bit of a shame. I was hoping we would get a percentage increaser. Oh, your equipment is too heavy for you to even carry this. Ooh, also we have some cool stuff this time. Alright, well, I don't intend for you to be jumping in front of combat too much. This weighs 56 pounds. So actually, if we took off the robes, we could give you this. Did our scoundrel this game get Strength of the Swarm? No, he got Craftsman, though. He? She? I actually can't even tell. She got Craftsman. So the rat still has Strength of the Swarm and, of course, Bite. Can the rat wear the armor? Yes. Okay. Well, the rat is our frontline fighter for the moment, then. Hoping not to get involved in a ton of combat. The rat certainly does not have a lot of health. And then this Fur Codex is actually very good. Who has good intelligence and... that's mysticism, right? I'm learning the names of the stats very slowly. 2 and 3, 2 and 2, 4 and 3. And this is a perception-based weapon, so actually you're pretty good with that. Maybe we should give the javelins to the kid? Oh, the kid can't carry these javelins. They're very heavy. Well, it looks like nobody is particularly great at using the Fur Codex, but Bieklava, maybe, is definitely going to be the best. And then Zosha here can just take this scaled artifact. And we don't really have anybody who wants to use this Elven Spear, but it's not bad. As far as spears go, this is okay. When we have a character who has decent strength, they can take that over. And then the boar. Who is least likely to get put on the field themselves? Because that's the person who should have the boar. I guess, honestly, it's probably the Chosen Kid, right? Chosen Kid gets the boar. Alright, now let's have a look around. So, we learned some things from the last game. From the last full game. We also learned something about how dangerous it is to just wander around with no plan from that last very short game. But it turns out that even being aware of having more of a plan for spending advancement points, you still get to the point where those are very expensive to get pretty quickly. So we're going to want to be a little bit more cautious with what we choose to research. Do we have enough? We do not have enough gathering to get grain in one turn. You know what? I'll sit here for 2 turns, because it's 20 grain per gather. That's a lot of food. Okay, well done, apparently. We didn't even actually get any food yet, did we? Well, whatever. If he wants to give us the tincture. Oh, I should have hit skip. Okay. So now we just have to go and find the house. It's actually pretty convenient. And with rollover, yeah, we're going to get another load of grain next turn. Let's just sit here for another turn. Okay, I think that was a good use of that time. Oh, this is promising. So wild gold, a ton of sources of food, wood and bone nearby. Yeah, this is a very promising location. I mean, it has fuel and food. It has fuel and food and 3 different kinds of resources. I think we probably ought to just put down. So let's put... We're not going to be able to gather grain in a single turn, and I don't think I want to stay here for more than one, so I'm just going to put people on wood gathering. We're going to get up and move to the appropriate location. Well, first we're going to search these ruins. A town that was torn asunder by the Shattering. I'll search the ruins. You search the ruins, find mostly white ash and some rubble. Hey look, free rubble. And then an odd burning upon our spirit, which obviously we are great at resisting. Okay, so a difficulty 2 combat with some spiders. I would love to not have to get involved with that just yet. Search these ruins as well. It's the exact same text. Okay, not bad. I mean, we're getting a lot of research points and stuff for free here. And we can definitely gather some fruit. Unfortunately, there's no way to work this so that we get fruit and wood. Yeah, that's fine. Just get this. So if we're going to make the idol here, it just ends up getting made out of, like, normal bone. That's fine, I guess. Not totally ideal. Okay, Zosha... hold on, we'll deal with you in a second. The kid who we want to force to become a hunter has the option to take perception, so let's take it. Intelligence does not help with gathering. Do you have any important abilities? Not really. I'm inclined to take perception because it's the only choice here that helps with gathering. Like, obviously, wits is valuable in combat, but I think we're hoping that Josia doesn't have to engage in combat too much, and we do really need gathering. And also, perception is currently her combat stat. Biaklava... Doesn't really have any skills at all that require any particular kind of scaling. I might just take perception with the plan to eventually give this character a bow or a... I mean, we want them to have a weapon that scales on yellow stats, right? Because obviously, yellow... This is the reason they're attached to the intellect card. They're good at yellow stuff. So... What is the yellow part of brute force scales with intelligence? We'll just take the point of intelligence then. And that helps with crafting too. And then Zosha, as a child, I'm inclined to just take whatever she can get 2 points of since we don't have a particular plan with her. Let's just make her really good at something and have her grow up into that. And let's do the witch house real quick. We'll use our intelligence to get out of this pickle with the witch. Or we could just kill her. I'm sure we'd be fine at it. But at this point, I'm trying to take any kind of challenge that actually can't kill us. Sounds pretty good to me. We don't have enough points of gathering between the lot of us to be able to gather both of the sources of fruit in a single turn. That's fine. The gatherer will grab one and we'll just keep moving. Yep, I will do your important task. I'll have to go to a place and to deal with some trouble. Well, there's the place over there. Okay, so Myslav is a little bit stronger than a normal child. I think we just lean into that and make Myslav a warrior for us. And the rat, I kind of want to take strength on the rat, because bite scales with strength. It has a good scaler, and it's a really fast attack. And right now, the rat is our only fighter. Alright, we're just looking around a little bit. I don't think we're going to find a spot that's better than this. So 3 of the 6 crafting materials, wood, stone, bone, or wood, metal, and bone. But I would like to, first of all, push Theodore's thing forward a little bit more, and secondly, try at least to find a source of the other crafting materials so we know where to go to get them. We're doing very well on food so far. Okay, well there's some herbs over here. It's not exactly what we're looking for. Oh, right, this thing where they tell us about Zbigniew. We can just skip this story. Get some Slavian loyalty, and now we know where there's a friendly town, at least. Awful lot of spiders out here, although they do not seem to be aggressive for some reason. Alright, I think we can just go back. Actually, I should check while we're in town mode real quick here. The idol can be made out of stone, gem, wood, or bone. So I guess we would make it out of wood then. Our idol itself is not going to be very good, which is a shame. Yeah, oh well, is what it is. We can always replace it with something better later. So, the question now is, which tile exactly? It's got to be within 2 tiles of the wood. Right here is pretty good. This gets us fish, berries, wheat, wood, bone, and gold. It does not get us the iron, but we'll never use the iron, not when we could use gold. We'll actually have 2 sources of wheat, not that that matters. Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good location. Certainly good enough to start. And it's kind of out on the edge. Okay, so one thing that I think is important to this game, I can't remember if I talked about this already, so I'll just talk about it again just to be sure, is I really want to get onto one of the different colored landmasses and see like exactly how much harder it is and exactly how much more valuable the resources there are. That's important planning information that we do not yet have, we could use on future runs. So I think the plan is just to set up directly on top of that wheat. Oh hey look, we tracked down Zbigniew by sitting in place for a night. Come to smite me, have you? Yeah, basically. Let me tell you, though, your puny gods can suck it. I kind of love Zbigniew. Listen, buddy, I'm not gonna smite you. You got chutzpah. Chutzpah? Chutzpah. You got moxie. You can definitely live in our town if you want. We will soothe your broken soul. He drops to the floor and swears he will do better, and leaves for the village. Okay. Magic and harmony, calling out for the light of the gods to shine upon this wretched soul. Well done. Yes, magic. I was pursuing the domain of magic. Confronting Zbigniew was needed for other reasons too, of course. Okay, so let's pick up and... Come on, there we go. And settle down right here. It's a shame we can't use the gold to make our idol. Okay, so we just need like a whole lot of wood. And then secondary gatherers and tertiary gatherers. You know, it is kind of ridiculous to me that the idea that a rat is worse at gathering food than a child. If you've ever had a rat, you know that's not true. Although I guess this number represents not how much the rat is gathering, but how much he's actually bringing back for us. He's probably gathering quite a lot and then eating almost all of it. How much wood do we actually need? Is it 30? Okay, 30. It's only going to give us 2.6 gathering and crafting. Well, we know how to replace it. We'll just have to make that a higher priority this game, since we're making it out of pretty crummy materials to start with. So we're at 14 and we need 30. Oh hey, new child. We don't even have a cabbage patch yet. It's a proverbial cabbage patch. Okay, let's do one more turn of hard wood gathering, because of course we gotta make sure that the town has enough wood to burn while we're building the thing. And then show me all the people who are good at building. Alright, turns out the scoundrel has it under control. So you two just gather wood. Oh, look at that. It's this guy. We know the deal. Have we ever chosen the Kamuch? I think we've always chosen the Dola, right? Yeah, let's go this way. We'll visit your weird froggy friend. But not right this second. We're kind of busy at the moment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop an advancement point for gold. We definitely want to be able to gather this gold. And then let's talk about basic tools. So we need gathering and crafting tools. Gathering tools are made out of leather, wood, gems, or leather. So they're going to be made out of wood for us. We don't have a natural source of gems or leather. It does seem like a natural source of gems is pretty important. A lot of things you want to make them out of gems. We can make a crafting tool. Ooh, we should make a gold crafting tool. Yeah, we'll put this on the scavenger, and then use the scavenger to make the gathering tools, and hopefully get a better chance of getting good ones. Your gathering skill is not actually naturally very high. Well, that means we need the tool more than ever. So we need to get to... what was it? Was it 30? Yeah, we need to get to 30 stone, or 30 gold. Gold is pretty hard to gather. Let's put the best people on that. And then... you know what? I would rather have... rather than gathering more fruit, get us some fish. Make sure that we have a good variety of foods to increase our quest efficiency, or our task efficiency. And we're going to have to clear out all these spiders in the crow's nest at some point as well. Alright, welcome aboard, House Demon. And we definitely need to make sure that people are on food, because winter is going to come and stuff is going to get difficult. So this is best gathered during summer and autumn. This is best during spring and summer. The fish don't actually say that they are gathered inefficiently during any particular season. I wonder if we'll be able to gather fish at full rate even during the winter, because that would actually be lovely. Alright, so we need to see gold gathered one more time to make our crafting tool. Or to make our gathering tool, rather. Right now, a 4.4 increase is greater than a 41% increase, but that won't be true after one of these... Like, one of these kids is going to grow up into an actual crafter, and then we're going to give this to them. And I'll want it to be a percentage increase crafting tool at that point. And also, you know, the scavenger, or the scoundrel rather, could level up into more crafting, and this would end up being better then too. So there's a pretty good chance that we're going to end up making a garbage version of this thing, unfortunately. But even that will still be pretty good. It'll probably be better than the crafting tools that we were building last time. And there, you know, it is less than a 50% chance. So these wild resources, it's really a lot better to work them with people who actually have some crafting skill. How are we doing on morale? We are actually pretty close to a task efficiency threshold, so we might want to use an advancement point on cooking. Well, actually, we already know a recipe that we can do, don't we? Because fish is a meat, and we have berries. So we can make fish cakes. Food of choice for most kids. Yeah, who doesn't love a fish cake? That's the whole tale of the fish, huh? Well, you know, people eat differently in different parts of the world. I'm not actually going to have anybody making fish cake just yet. Let's gather some more fish first. We'll do one more gathering of fish, because we don't want to run out of fish. If you lose all your fish making fish cakes, you haven't actually added a type of food to your repertoire there. Alright, let's grab the people who are... I guess it could just be the goblin kid who does the cooking. I'm very eager to see what the goblin kid is going to grow up into. Speaking of which, let's have a quick look at this. 3 turns until the hunter grows up. 11 turns until the warrior grows up. 17 turns until this new kid who showed up grows up into whatever makes sense at that time. And the goblin will grow up in 15. So while a goblin child is growing up, it just always has the summon demon skill. And this is linked to the growing up, so they'll lose it when they hit adulthood. Okay. Once we have the hunter, and maybe also the warrior grown up, we can start clearing out some of these wild animals. Alright, so we have more food. Was that enough to push us up the threshold? It was not. Everybody is still like... Oh, no, it totally was. Yeah, we are on the task efficiency tier now. Well, good then. Perception. Your child is perceptive. Fingers crossed. I would really, really love to have a hunter. Awesome. Yeah, hunters just seem great. Okay, did we make a bad one? Is it okay? It is totally okay. 41% increase in crafting. Wonderful. So now we're going to need a whole bunch of wood gathering tools. That's going to take a lot of wood. How are people at gathering? Like, are we close enough to the 10-point threshold to want to build? Oof, a bunch of us are actually pretty bad. Wow, a bunch of us are really bad. Partially this is the town being of low quality. But we might actually want to make, with these very low gathering levels, we might actually want to make these flat gathering increases. And then we can just build better gathering tools later out of higher materials. Yeah, just like a 2.0 increase, which sadly is going to double some people's gathering skill. So 27 wood apiece. Well, you guys are... Let's put the 3 best gatherers on wood. We gotta get that coming in as quickly as possible. And fruit. We need fruit. And also more gold, but the gold's not, like, urgent. So one thing we do desperately need here is the gathering building. made of stone, wood, bone, and stone, wood, metal. So we could, for right now, we could go like wood and gold. I think one of these is going to be very helpful. So what would that look like? We might want to wait until we have a child grow up as a crafter for doing this. Just like, I really don't want there to be a chance we end up making a garbage quality forge or a garbage quality warehouse. And does it matter much what we make it out of? Bone. If we made it out of bone. Okay, lower gathering increase, but more slots. I think I actually don't want that. So we'll just kind of make it out of whatever. But I'm not going to stress about it until we actually have a crafter. Right now, let's just get some garbage gathering tools made. Okay, we should have enough wood now that we can safely pull some people over onto this. You definitely have to get on it. And then, like, you and the goblin kid gets us exactly there. And we'll leave the good gatherer still getting wood. Actually, I might move somebody onto that with her. We're okay on fish for right now, I guess. If she's gonna hit it every turn, yeah, let's just let this be how this is. We have run all the way out of berries, though. How many of these are we gonna need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta remember, you don't have to rebuild the thing every time. You can just do this. We're gonna need 4 more on top of the one we have. And I don't know that it matters terribly who gets it. Oh, you are not... The boar does not need to be on you anymore. You take the boar. So we definitely want to give her now a weapon that is perception-based, which means we might steal the javelins for a little bit here. We don't really have a great replacement for you, but the javelins should definitely go on the person who uses them best. Yeah, this leather artifact is okay. Here. Kid can have a wand. Okay. So 4 more gathering tools. Gonna need a little bit more wood before we can start on the next one. And the goblin kid can make... We should probably have some bone to build things with. Then again, we should focus on grain gathering, actually, probably right now while we can gather grain easily. Because our society might be mostly fish-based in the very near future. A stork is spotted in your village, a sure sign of good fortune from the gods. Unless they're displeased with you, of course. Yeah, you never can tell with the gods. Okay, it brought us just like a whole lot of food. Your farms yield better crops. Come on, we don't have any farms, let's be honest. We have not figured that out yet. Okay, definitely taking points of gathering on everybody who can get them. Goblin Kid can get Ghostly Axe or Craftsman. I still don't know exactly what we're going to end up, what the Goblin Kid's going to grow into, but like, Ghostly Axe is a pretty cool skill. Yeah, let's take that. And then Bozidar can get 3 points of shielding in all colors or 2 flying daggers. I think energy scattering... What stat is energy scattering based on when it's red? Okay, it's a perception attack. So he already has a reasonable ranged perception attack. I think we can just take parry here. And that is probably enough wood to get started. No, it's only 38. Let's have quite a bit more than that before we pull people off of wood gathering, because we're going to need wood to get through the winter as well as wood to build these, and that's really soon now. Okay, the warrior kid's grown up, fingers crossed. In the trials. The child is youth no more. Today they join the proud, shirtless ranks of the warrior caste. And it's winter. Okay, let us go back to the equipment panel here. So my Slav can take this good spear instead. Sorry, do you still have... Oh, no, you have... Ah, I see. I had Byaklava selected, and I was like, 3 strength, really? No, that makes a lot more sense. We should try to get a shield. Next time we're shopping, next time we have an opportunity to trade, we should try to get a shield for my Slav. And also some armor, just generally armor. I think probably he's going to end up fighting people from the front row. He is the beneficiary of our only suit of clothing, even though it is not even though it is not reflected in his picture. Okay, so I'm not actually going to have the hunter go very far. We're just going to take a little bit of food and like a couple of points of wood, just in case something weird happens. But mostly, my goal here is initiating combat with the nearby things. Oh, right, I have a hunter. We don't actually have to fight the spiders to get rid of them. Meat and bone and experience. And then we can probably handle this too, yep. You know how to handle beasts, just smoke them out of there. Wow, it says they'll leave less loot, but this is pretty good. Well, I guess it's only one of each of these things. Still, pretty happy with that outcome. And having a hunter is great. We're in, like, no danger at all on any of these turns. So this is... Yeah, this is where the Kmuch is going to be, right? Or the Chmu, depending on which one of the announcer... which one of the voiceover pronunciations we believe. Weird. The gold is also harder to gather during winter. Hold on. Gathering food and crafting resources is more difficult, but we're not actually seeing a difficulty indicator show up on the fish. Is that just a bug? Fish. 39. No, he is actually gathering fish at full effectiveness. Apparently they don't count as food or crafting resources. Well, that's actually really cool. So let's move a bunch of people. Yeah, I mean, we're just gathering a lot of fish. We still get 20 grain every time we fill the bar. But maybe this would be a good time to like slowly start chipping away at the gold. We'll just only gather fish as food during winter. Maintain our effectiveness. Alright, I think we are probably going to level up Bite. It goes from 1.3 modifier to a 1.6 modifier. Showing off does gain a whole second of delay, though. 3.0 delay is really harsh. And nobody in our town is super good at yellow challenges yet. We're actually better at physical challenges than maybe even than we were last game. So yeah, showing off. I think that makes sense. Okay, Yuzia can become a mystical child. Works for me. You can interact with stuff. Leopold's directions lead you to a small pond. This is where the ever-elusive That Thing lives. From what Leopold said, finding his friend will be the challenge here. Well, they are attuned to suffering. If you hurt yourself and try to make it look and feel real, it may come to you. Okay. Something moves in a bush nearby. Feel you are being watched. Well, we could just haul off and murder him. That's not really what we're here for. Tell him of the demon we met and the curve game that we need to get into. You see him watching you from afar, but still unwilling to come closer. Fruit. You heard a rumor that they like fruit. Leave them some and lure and see if they come out. We try to catch him. We could just beg him for his help, or we could have our house demon talk to him, who I did not actually note the name of. What is the name? Okay, Bozidar again. Yeah, Bozidar, could you... Oh, you know what? If we do a challenge, we'll probably get some XP, right? We should be able to talk him into this. Yeah. Oh, I should have done it as a concept challenge, though, so we couldn't take damage. Alright, fine. They told me I was too slow to play with them, so I'll get you in and show them. All you need is a demon, really. So for you, you will only need is this invitation. And we get the bloody human tooth. Okay, so the end result of that is the same no matter which one of the demons you go after. Okay, easy enough. We should probably go ahead and engage with some more of these enemies before we get back. Just keep taking the easy XP. Beast, howl at the moon together, buzz to a common tune, or simply run in unison with your kin for a time before asking them to move along. The rat is going to run in unison with these spiders? Well, I mean, hey, whatever. Community's community. The rat gains a physical blessing, and we get the XP. Okay. Feeling a little bit more secure in our surroundings now. Actually, do I want her to go and talk to that village? I think I do. Let's go talk to that village real quick. Alright. Maybe I pay you to kill Leopold. Why would you do that? Well, it turns out trickster, demon, etc. I will consider it for a better reward. Wow, 12 damage. We might have been able to do that. Fine, fine. I have this goblin kid stashed away. I'll bring it to you. That's cool. I'm collecting goblin kids, apparently. Alright, hard for me to imagine I don't want to just take perception and strength here. Make you better at your actual jobs. I think part of what was going wrong in the last couple of games, is that I was way too focused on making sure that people had good crafting and gathering, and then when it came time for like our fighter people to engage in difficult combat, they just weren't good enough at it. And partially that's an equipment problem, but also stats. A sudden gust of wind heralds the coming of a dirt storm. Well, let's try to find shelter, because it seems like it's easier to do than the other one. Find a good spot and set up a strong camp that withstands the sandstorm. You also find the wind has blown some remains for you to loot. Oh, dark wood and meat. Are we really... Huh, it only shows us having 2 turns worth of fuel. Shouldn't we be gaining wood pretty rapidly? Yeah, okay, I guess that indicator is bugged, because we totally have 81 wood. We could start in on these. I think you should be able to start building as long as you have at least 1 gathering tools worth of wood. It's showing the cross out. I don't think it's supposed to be. Hold on, let's put some people on this and see if it actually gets any progress. Because I did this in one of my off-camera starting games, and it definitely let me make progress as soon as I had the resources for one of the thing. A pack of beasts has approached. Oh no, rats! We can't just talk them out of fighting us? Wow, that actually went really well. Okay, Leopold is attempting to smear shit on our clothes. I think this is 100% justified. You kill the Shock and the Hotchlick flies over. Yes! Then he looks at his den comrade and you see tears welling up. Okay. Well, he did give us a pretty good bone wand, and also a crappy club and some other stuff. Here's your wand. Yeah, you said something about a goblin child? I said I will bring it to you. There it is. See? He points to a child carried by a swarm of Hotchlicks. I never said I'd give it to you. Here, have a pet instead. You did me a solid. Okay, well, free combat pet. I do love a combat pet. You sort of broke your word, though. Yeah, you know what? I bet we could take him. I think we have, like, a reasonable party here. Victory with minor injuries. I'll take it. I'm learning my lesson about getting too proud in combat. You kill the Hotchlick and have a chance to rescue the goblin child, if you can get to it before more Hotchlicks take it away. Take the child if you can, and leave. I guess we couldn't? It feels like there should be more text telling you what the outcome of this choice is. But alright, we failed. Well, we got a cool spitting spider. Okay, hold on. We'll come back to you. We have a lot of people to level up here. Well, Ghostly Axe is a very good skill. Let's take that. Bozidar is a crafter and gatherer. And also, does energy scattering... Yeah, it scales off of wisdom. Like, wisdom's just a really good stat for him. Child can get dizziness powder or protective word. I actually think dizziness powder, the mass lullaby skill, is pretty good. You can increase your brute force or increase your line charge. Line charge is very slow. But, like, we're really hoping to never have to use brute force, right? 2 wisdom on the gatherer does seem pretty good. Mysticism does not increase gathering skill. And wits is good, certainly, but we're kind of hoping that this particular character does not get involved in a whole lot of challenges. And then you can, I guess, take some strength? What do I have? What weapon do I have on you right now? A pretty decent book. Unfortunately, none of these stats will affect the book thing. You know what? We might take strength just for carry limit. We've definitely had some problems with that. And then Goblin Child. I mean, I guess we gave him Ghostly Axe. So yeah, let's take the perception. Alright, things are going alright so far. Now that Zbigniew is no longer troubling you or us, we can welcome you properly. The tavern's open. Let's visit it. Our demon can do some gambling. One should never try gambling with demons. You were made for trickery, after all. You win, but folk look at you with suspicion. Did we? Yes, we did. Wow, significantly damage our loyalty. Alright, see if we can repair that. Is there anything we can do for you? There's a nice rich beehive nearby. We'd like to get the honey. Okay, I can help with that. Ooh, that's a little far from the town. That's going to have to be like an actual expedition thing. Is there anything else we can help with? They would like wood. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, yeah, they are actually putting progress toward the thing. So I don't really want to trade off wood then. And in fact, we want to move some people onto wood gathering. You help with this. Well, let's trade with them. Do they have anything really interesting? A quartz crafting tool is fine, not actually great. They do have some armor. This bone heavy armor would not be bad. 504, can we make 504 happen? Yeah, we have like a couple of weapons and stuff. We could trade them back some of that silver that we won from them. Because if we're going to build stuff out of metal, we're going to make it out of gold anyway. Yeah, let's see about getting some heavy armor, and I think this axe is pretty good. They do not, unfortunately, have a shield. This thing that looks like it could be a shield is in fact a relic. Okay, yeah, could we get this hatchet too? Can I make that work? We can give them this club and this club. We can give them back all the silver. And then we could trade off some of our gold. I don't really want to do that. We could give them all these resources that we only have like one of. There's some significant value between a lot of these. We do have more Shadowbone, but it's still nowhere near enough to actually build anything out of. And then like some of our basic bone, we have almost enough of this to cover it. Yeah, that's fine. We'll give them all the normal bone and then like a couple of sandstone? Or should it be something we can actually replace? We have a lot of herbs, and herbs are pretty valuable. Yeah, I want to keep a bunch of them to cook with, but yeah, I think this is a reasonable trade. Okay, so the only other thing we could do is trade with them. I think we can just bring the hunter back. I don't really want to be fighting stuff out here by myself. I'm certainly not attired for it. Goblin Child is about to become an adult, and so it is time to discover their spiritual path. You must now choose what journey the young one will take before, God's willing, they may return to you as an adult. Some good old trade, gathering or craft. Okay, we don't really have a lot of options with the Goblin Child. Well, I think we need a craftsperson more than we need a gatherer. Child finds its fate in tinkering. They will learn craft. Rejoice! Also, let's have a look at our full-grown goblin adult. Wow, didn't really get any taller at all. In fact, it kind of seems like only her head grew. So that's weird. Well, let's move the gathering tool down onto you. Wow, you actually have really good crafting. That's super helpful. Alright, we did finish a wood gathering tool. Yeah, we'll just move those on to everybody. Let's eject you from this. You can help with the crafting, and you can get back to helping gather more wood, because it turns out we're going to need a lot of it. We don't actually have to be gathering food right now. We have more than enough food for the winter. So, do I want even more rollover on this? Nah, I think this is probably fine. Okay, things are coming along. Oh, now that we have a proper crafter, let's talk about building ourselves a warehouse. So the way we were thinking about doing it was like this. That would give an extra 1.3 gathering. We're probably not going to find a ton of sources of better stone. I guess this is fine. It's not a very exciting number, is it? Yeah, alright, that'll be the plan. So we're going to have to gather quite a lot more wood and then also quite a lot of gold. Oh, and I have to actually equip these gathering tools for them to do anything. Hey, we finished both of them the same turn. Both of the remaining ones. You get this, and you get that. Oh, we ran out of wood. Well, that'll be resolved on this coming turn. I guess, though, it doesn't make sense for these people to just sit here doing nothing for a turn. You guys can contribute to gold gathering. So what are we going to make this other kid, then? I don't think I actually have a plan on that. Okay, now we need one more turn of wood gathering. And we have way more wood than we need, so we don't have to worry about freezing the village by spending some of it for crafting. And actually, they're just going to get the job done. So we only need to gather gold one time. And then we still need an awful lot of wood. This is the one I want. Okay. Oh, you cannot have gathering tools and a wand at the same time. You know, I know they're children, but the carry limits are maybe a little bit too low. Alright, so I think we want to trade out the spear for the sandstone hatchet. Yeah, it has a faster attack, and that 1.7 strength modifier is really nice. It's a lot of damage. I mean, I guess in his hands, the Elven Spear's first strike is 8 points. Oh man, that is very good. Okay, somebody else can take the axe. It's a good axe. What about you? You only have 3 strength. No, you're definitely better off with the artifact. Alright, well, we will find somebody to use this axe. Actually, it wouldn't be terrible on Yaklava. Also, we need somebody with a high destiny to use this wand. Who has... Does anybody have good destiny? You have good mysticism, which is not the same thing. And you're better off with that. I guess we're just not using the wand for right now. And the spider can go on somebody who's unlikely to be good in normal combat. The kid already has the boar. I don't know if the spider's actually any better. Who are we unlikely to want to play into combat? Maybe the gatherer? And then heavy armor, this should be no problem for Myslov, and then we can pass the lighter armor over to the hunter. Okay. Like, reasonably well outfitted and geared for turn 45, I think. So now we have to gather a whole lot more stuff. Mysticism, chance, and female. Your child was born with the mark of a witch. This path is dark and dangerous. Okay, so we have to buff mysticism when we want witches. Well, that's a class we've never seen before. Child is youth no more. Today they join the dark path of witchery. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What is the deal with a witch? Tell me about witches. There are quite a few classes in the game, huh? Yusia. Okay, she's got a whole aesthetic going on there. I dig that. She can summon unliving rats. Oh, this is a bloody summon, right? A low bloody summon, though. Costs 20% of the caster's current health, not max health. So it gets cheaper as you get weaker and weaker. That's interesting. She has reliable argument with a decent value behind it. And also the ability to throw a rock at people. The ultimate weapon of a 5-year-old. Rarely effective, but highly annoying. Okay, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. She doesn't seem amazing. Yet. She does have good purple stats, though, and that's a thing that we often have trouble finding. So, do we want to move that book onto her? Because her mysticism is very high. Yeah, I think she takes the book. And you can have the wand. Yeah, okay. I think that makes sense. Scales with mysticism and intelligence, both of which are good on her. Yeah, she's actually quite powerful now. I'll be eager to see what her upgrades look like. Oh, but she doesn't need that boar anymore then. Because we have reasonable stuff for her to do during combat. So who is the most likely to still not really have something to do during combat? There are a number of combats where Zosha will not really be that useful. Like red combats. This will give Zosha something to do in red combat. Okay, wood. We need 61 spare wood to build this warehouse. It's going to be quite a while. Hey, we found a new kid. Milena. I don't think the rat really needs destiny or mysticism or wisdom. I guess wisdom gives us gathering and crafting. This affects gathering, though. Sorry, I know I keep having to look at these. So destiny gives half the ratio of wisdom for gathering purposes. How much does it affect crafting? A quarter of the ratio. Wow, destiny is really bad at boosting these. I'm just going to take the point of wisdom, I think. Alright, yes, I accept my divine role as the chosen. So we have 3 and like a quarter. Oh, I didn't give the new kid a gathering job yet. I'll help gather fish. Okay, so next turn we are good on gold. And then it's just a matter of gathering all the wood. I think I'll probably just leave them on gold until we have enough wood, because we're going to need more gold eventually. Weary from your travels, you come across a small hamlet. We are really actually just sitting inside of our village, but alright. We are invited to rest and eat with the family. Oh, this is that thing where we, like, yeah, we listen to folk tales and then we wake up and they're gone and the shattering has occurred. And then we look at these guys, and we follow the magic domain. We are sticking to our domain here. We could do the intellect thing, but we did a magic thing earlier. We can battle these fiends with magic. This challenge is usually difficulty 4, isn't it? You know what? There was a patch today, I think. Maybe they adjusted some of the values. Or maybe I've always chosen the other option, and it's difficulty 4 if you do it that way. Well, I think our witch might actually be able to do a difficulty 2 purple challenge. Maybe almost by herself. Yes, in fact, probably entirely by herself. You defeat the family and see their bodies burn to ash as they fall. The oppressive light lingers as if searching for a new host, but it does not approach you, and eventually it disappears. Okay, destiny up for the crafter. It helps, or the gatherer. It helps with their gathering a little bit. So we're at 51 wood right now. 57. Well, I guess we can tell from here. We got to remember that during winter, we're using 2 wood per turn, so it's twice this value. Oh, except that value also includes the wild wood that we can't use. We don't have enough of it with which to craft. Yeah, I think we could just get started now. I think this will work. It's not a big assist, but it is an assist, and every little bit is going to count here in the early going. So you could pick up destructive words, or I still don't think you need flying daggers. Destructive words, honestly, I don't know that this is really that good for him either, because... well, I guess energy scattering scales with the other stat. And this is at least poison damage. I don't think either of those skills are very good for him, though. Neither one of those add much. Alright, it is objectively the case that, like, our team is less powerful at gathering and crafting than they have been in some of the previous games. But honestly, I'm feeling, like, capable here. The light is burning us alive, magic domain. Try to find the source so you can defeat it. Use the connection to your domain and resist spiritually. Turns out we're actually good at purple challenges for the first time ever. We're also good at healing off purple damage, which is another good reason to stick to this. So I think I'd rather have 1 point of mysticism than 2 points of destiny. And on Zosha, we don't really need either of those things. I guess this is the only one that affects crafting at all, even if it is only a little bit. Zosha does have Ghostly Axe, though. Yeah, you know what? I'll take the Perception. This really is just a tiny little bit of crafting, and this gives more gathering than Destiny does. Zosha is definitely going to have to spend some time gathering. Come upon a place torn up by tremors. Oh, right, the toad. We approach him and he's like, oh no, my swamp, I lost it. Yep. I remember this. We agree to help because this is a very easy quest that gives rewards. Oh, interesting. We have the option of taking 2 wits on one of our challenge-focused characters. That seems like a good idea. And Milena could also maybe become a witch? I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have 2 witches. Because most characters, in our limited experience so far, most characters are kind of crummy at purple challenges. I feel like we get better at the other kinds much faster. If we get the opportunity to take another witch, I'll do it. I'll take her. Okay, so this is for the Lightbringer's quest. We could send the hunter over there to trigger that. That's still within range of the town, so we'll all get to participate. And with this, and then like a very small amount of wood. Just in case I somehow have to run out of range and make camp. It's hard to imagine the situation that would lead to that, but it is at least theoretically possible. Which directs you to an old straw hut sitting on a chicken leg, surrounded by low-hanging mist and the smell of baked cookies and burnt sugar. Oh, right. This is where we bring the frog to talk about the missing swamp. Well, we do have a magic user. Whatever tricks are at work here, you are no fool. You only wish to hand over the toad and not become ensnared by whatever kind of crazy witch magic you have going on. Actually, speaking of crazy witch magic, could you teach us a couple things? How did the other demons disappear? The light did it, etc. It turns out the toad is a prince. Yep, we break his curse very easily on account of we have a witch of our own. We do not ask if he's a prince because that would be gauche, although we know that he is. And then he gives us, as a reward, some crummy topaz jewelry that's still good, some amber jewelry that is basically the same thing, and then actually a pretty decent artifact. Demand more? I'm not going to demand more. Feels unwise. And I know he doesn't join us, but you know what? We've seen a couple of times the same option in events have different outcomes. We may as well ask him to join us every time. The worst that can happen is he says no, but maybe one time he actually will. Maybe there's like a very small chance. So we still have this thing to deal with for the Slavion. I don't think we're quite there yet. So now what? 16 turns until the end of winter. We know that eventually we would like to have a forge. What would we make the forge out of? We would get to make our forge out of gold, and making the forge out of metal makes it really effective, right? I think I'm remembering that right? Yeah, sure. Let's grab this. I know I said we gotta be kind of careful with our advancement points, but I think a forge is a pretty reasonable build. So if we make it entirely out of gold, 4.8 crafting plus 7.5 points of physical shielding on everybody. Yeah, that seems really good. Just a pure solid gold forge. 105 gold. Well, we could probably back off a little bit on the wood now. Like, let's have our 3 best gatherers on this. And then you guys can help with the wood, and... there we go. That lets us get fish and wood every turn, and gold every 2 turns. Well, we'll definitely survive the winter. Feels to me like we probably ought to take Master Craftsman now. It's another 2 points, versus an increase in rituals and research. It's a shame you can't make a Goblin Zerka. It'd be really effective. Yeah, Protective Word is a useful skill. And then, does Jossia want Brute Force or Showing Off? Well, I think right now we're best at purple and yellow challenges, so let's or purple and red, so let's shore up our yellow a little bit, maybe? Sometimes when you have an expedition selected, you can just right-click on the ground and they move, and sometimes you have to actually click the boot, and I haven't quite figured out which times are which. Figure out what quite is causing that. Sorry, not this. Gathering. So we gotta put the hunter back on something. Get us some grain very slowly, I guess. But you know what? We could probably be, actually having somebody cook some fish cakes. Because, yeah, we've definitely run out. We don't have a ton of fruit left. Well, here, you do this for a minute. We'll make fish cakes a couple of times, and then we'll pull her off onto gathering fruit, probably. It's gonna be spring pretty soon. Okay, that should be enough of that for right now. I know you're gonna do it slowly, but we do need it. So we have 60 gold, we need was it 95? 105. Hey, it is going to be a minute. For days now, your idol has been acting oddly. Oh, this. Rats are chewing into our idol's roots. Rat, you can smell your kind here. Dig in and search all the hidey holes. Rats always score a perfect victory. Several have fried themselves while doing it, so hooray, fried rat. Magic fried rat. It is sad to have to kill him, though. Why couldn't we just have our rat explain to them, gently, that this is a bad idea? Okay, definitely 2 points of strength. And we could buff up your reliable argument, or... what is even the difference between these 2 skills? It says, times 1 to 2. I'm wondering if there's like a die roll behind the scenes here, and what we're actually increasing is the odds on that die roll. It doesn't seem like I'm all that likely to use this, though, and reliable argument, like an extra 0.4 times scaling on reliable argument, actually seems pretty great. Alright, so we need to see that gained gold symbol a couple more times. Is this it, or is it the next one? It's the... oh, it's actually the one after the next one. During winter, sometimes the game is very simple. Okay, if I remember correctly, what you want to do here is find cover, and then try to figure out how to protect your goods afterward. Yep, and if you do it that way, somebody gains crafting. I don't know that it is necessarily super great for us for it to be the rat. Also, our rat doesn't have a name. We've just been calling him Rat this whole time. That's kind of... that feels kind of crappy to me. Bozidar, yeah, can grab Wisdom. Wisdom's good on him. Where's this rat? Let's name this rat. How would you like to just be named Human? Okay, what's a good name for a rat? Let's name him... I'm totally blanking. Migo. I'm naming him Migo, after the rat that I had that looked the most like this. A lot of my rats were white. Amigo is a pretty dark color. Alright, let's get our forge set up before we stop for the day. A building seems to have appeared close to your location. So this is the Dwarven Forge, right? We can send the hunter out to meet him, I guess. She's not doing anything important. We don't need to give her any wood. She's just stepping out for a second. Actually, we probably didn't even need to give her any food, because I think she's going to get back to town immediately. Alright, yes, we accept the job of finding your 2 granddaughters. I will totally do it. So one of the locations is here. This was already on our map. And the other one is just south. Okay. That will be the child drowning lake, I believe. Okay, that's the thing we can deal with next time. For right now, we have a very important forge of metal to build. And I think I'm going to put the hunter on gold gathering duty. Like, we're just going to need, like, a huge amount of gold before the game is done. So, 7% chance of a masterwork forge, 29% chance of a totally garbage one. Also, it's going to take 12 turns to build even with our very best on it. Alright, we know your deal. Give me the shortest possible version of this thing. So, we know now, go to the bandit camp, attempt to negotiate with them, and then bail out on the challenge, and they'll give us a mission. That might be the smart way to get this done. It's a level up bite over brute force, I think. It's hard to imagine getting to a point where we could actually take on a difficulty 7 challenge with just the stuff we know how to make. Although, having access to the gold might help. Oh, we have this dream, right, with the crow. Reach out to the creature to show that you are no danger to it. I love to talk to dream crows, also all other kinds of crows. True to your path, as you were when you faced the failed chosen Zbigniew and decided to spare his life, for he did not offend your path in any way. Personally, I am ever cautious of the weaves of magic and their chaotic ways, but it is truly the path of magic that you walk, as you were asked to do. So yeah, I had figured this out a little bit. If you stick to actions that make sense within one of your domains, you get a permanent stat boost here, a maximum health boost of some color. But if you stray from your domains, you actually lose stats at this event. Alright, Crow, what's your deal? No one of importance, just do what you're told. I get you. The question of why the gods are doing this to us has crossed my mind, actually. An inquisitive mind is the brightest, yes. I do, but I will not share them with you. Of course he knows. Alright, we're just gonna seek out the path of magic. Following the path of magic has suited us well thus far. If you wish to unlock your true potential, you must find out why the gods remain weak. Follow your divine path and search for the truth. And hooray, it's spring. Alright, let's finish getting that forge built. Actually, we could probably rearrange the gathering people a little bit now. So let's get you on fruit. We're still not gathering grain at optimal efficiency, but it's certainly a lot higher. You know what, I'll just put them both on fruit, actually. Once we're done building the forge, we can have people gather grain. Alright, the wise man has offered his services as a trainer. Or if one of you is smart enough and shows me your mental aptitude, I may teach you a trick or two for free. Okay, I think between the lot of us, we're pretty smart. Oh, I should have checked. It's just the goblin. Alright, she managed it. Turns out Zosha's pretty bright. Yes, I see your talent. Let us begin. The man stays with you for a time and puts you through rigorous training before moving on. Okay, a gain in wits and intelligence, especially since intelligence gives craftsmanship, or crafting rather, is pretty good for free. Do we want sneak attack, or... well, we certainly don't want more brute force. So this is not a very fast attack, which I was expecting from both the name and the description. It is a poison damage attack that scales with perception when it's physical, so I guess we'll take this. Also, brute force is kinda crummy. You never want to be relying on brute force. 7 more turns, jeez. We're gonna be a quarter of the way through spring before this damn forge is done. Okay, the new child does not have the option to grow up to be a witch, so do we want a second warrior, or a second crafter, or a second gatherer? Honestly, I think a warrior would probably be a good idea. I mean, gatherers are... You know what? Yeah, let's get a second gatherer instead, because there are definitely going to be times when we have to pull a gatherer from the town for an expedition. So Milena has become an effective gatherer. 10.3 natural gathering skill. That's not bad. That's totally okay. I want to see the gathering panel. You probably let her do that by herself, and the rat can just start working on the grain slowly. We might have enough wood. We probably draw him off of wood for a little bit. Start collecting bone. Yeah, like, I don't think this starting position is totally great, but I'm actually pretty happy with it. It definitely has the things we need, at least. Okay, so we got a perfectly normal Forge of Metal, and that is a pretty meaningful increase in both crafting and physical shielding. It's going to be a lot harder for random monsters to roll up and destroy our town now. And I think with that, that maybe is where we're going to stop. We are 83 turns into the game. I think we've got a very solid setup. We have 3 advancement points and or 1 research off of another. We don't have a lot of... in fact, we haven't seen any terrain artifacts. We definitely have a lot more scouting that needs to be done. We need to spend some time looking around. So that's probably something we'll do near the beginning of tomorrow's episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and come back tomorrow to see what other bounty this land holds. And we'll see you then.